Welcome to LookRecap. Today I will show you an action thriller of 2019 titled Escape Room. Spoilers ahead and take care. A man falls into a secret room and the only way to escape from it is to unlock the combination on the wall. He walked over to check and move the code. The room suddenly began to collapse. The man is nervous. He quickly looks for clues and follows the wall mural hints and enters the code. The room was still collapsing. Zoe is a shy physics student whose greatest pleasure is working on problems. In a lecture on the quantum Zeno effect, Zoe knew the answer to the question but didn't have the courage to answer it. Her professor was very sorry and told her to challenge herself more. The man on the motorcycle is named Jason Walker, and he is a young stockbroker. His work performance is quite good and his clients are always willing to give him gifts. Ben is a stocker in a small supermarket. He doesn't earn much money, so he applied to his boss for the position of cashier, but his boss refused. Ben's personality is not good. He likes to smoke and drink in his daily life. His boss wants him to have a healthier lifestyle. Back in Jason's office, Jason thought the client would give him a Tesla key, but he guessed wrong. The gift from the client was a box that wouldn't open. Zoe's roommate invited her to go home with her for Thanksgiving, but Zoe declined. When her roommate left, Zoe saw the mirror on the wall start to shake, and Zoe's eyes closed tightly, feeling very uncomfortable. That's when she woke up with a start, and it turned out to be a dream. In reality, when her roommate left, she found a delivery at the door, sent to her by Zoe's professor. Inside was an identical box. Ben received the same box. They opened this box in their own way. Inside the box was a ticket to the Minus escape room. The winner can win $10,000. The next day, while smoking under the Minus building, Ben met Amanda, who was also a participant in this escape room. According to the requirement to leave a cell phone before entering the escape room. Next appeared the fifth participant, Danny, who was a fanatic of escape rooms, and the sixth participant, Mike, who was a retired miner. Everyone chatted awkwardly in the waiting room. Ben was the last person to arrive in the waiting room because he was too bored. He wanted to go outside for a cigarette. When he opened the door handle broke off, revealing an oven dial. Everyone got a little excited and started looking around for clues. Mike found a screwdriver in a book of 451 degrees Fahrenheit. Zoe thought the code was 451 degrees Fahrenheit, and when she entered the code it activated the room's oven heater instead. They tried to get a hint through the reception room guide, but the guide repeated the same words. At this point Ben tried to smash the door through the fire extinguisher, but accidentally turned on another device and the room got even hotter. Zoe found the key to open the reception room window and found that the guide was a dummy. Suddenly the phone rings and it is a recording telling the participants to follow the rules. The temperature in the room was getting warmer and everyone took off their coats and was anxious. Zoe gives Amanda a glass of water to calm her down. It turns out Amanda is a veteran. She suffers from post-war stress syndrome. Zoe discovers that by pressing the coasters on the table, the passage on the wall will open, and only by pressing 6 coasters at the same time will the person be able to climb inside the passage. The first to go in was Jason, who found the other end of the channel was screwed in place, requiring a screwdriver. So the second person in the aisle is Mike, who finds the screwdriver. The third was Amanda. Zoe thought of using water to press the coaster. Amanda was feeling bad in the passage, so Zoe went in to help her. Only Ben and Danny were left in the room. Because of the half glass of water Amanda drank earlier, they could not leave at the same time. At the critical moment, Ben empties his flask into the final glass and the two escape just in time as the room engulfs in flames. Everyone except Danny felt like it wasn't a game, it was real. Amanda tried to call for help, but there was no signal. In this cabin, there are many cameras. When they tried to get help through these cameras, there was no response. Jason sees that the code to unlock the cabin door is the 7-letter name associated with "You will go down in history." The scene returns to Ben and his friends driving while singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and then there is an accident. Ben gives Rudolph as the code, and they leave the cabin and head into the cold valley. The door and windows of the cabin are now locked. Jason searches around and finds a door that needs a key, while the others find a magnet, fishing rod, compass, and ice fishing hole. Amanda finds a red pike coat and suggests the idea of taking turns wearing it for warmth. Jason looks like a little worried. They take a key out of the ice. Danny tries to retrieve Ben's lighter to melt the cube, but unexpectedly falls into the ice along with the lighter and drowns. Everyone felt devastated. Fearing hypothermia, Jason convinces everyone to huddle together and use their collective body heat to melt the ice. Once they retrieve the key, Jason manages to turn the lock, but the door won't open. The group escapes across the creek to a new door, which opens just as all the remaining ice collapses beneath them. The third room is an inverted bar called Billiard Room 8. Everything is upside down. A telephone cord falls from the ceiling and a harsh sound comes from the phone. Music began to play. They find a door without a handle and start looking for it. Meanwhile, Mike finds the pool table without an 8-ball. Every time the music starts, a part of the floor falls off. Amanda climbs the wall behind the bar and finds a safe with a 4-digit combination. Zoe solves the sliding cube puzzle to find the required number, but is unable to open the safe. Another collapse leaves Zoe briefly unconscious in flashbacks to a plane crash when she was the only survivor. Zoe tells Amanda the room is upside down, so the code might be 2. Amanda manages to unlock the code to get the 8-ball, but is unable to get back safely. In the end, Amanda sacrificed herself and threw the 8-ball to Jason. The fourth chamber looks like a hospital ward with the same beds they were in when they were rescued. Zoe survived the plane crash. Mike was the only miner to be saved after the collapse. Ben's friend was killed in a car accident. Amanda was the only soldier in her unit to survive an IED explosion in Iraq. Danny's entire family died of carbon monoxide poisoning, and only Jason and his college roommate were found in the freezing cold water. Jason said his roommate was hallucinating himself swimming away because of hypothermia. It turns out that the people who participated in the game are survivors. The TV told them they had 5 minutes, and when that time was up, the room would be filled with poisonous gas. Jason, Ben, and Mike find an EKG machine and need to find the best heart rate to get to the next level. Zoe uses the idea of the quantum Zeno effect to destroy all the cameras in the room. Thinking a high heart rate will save them, Jason uses a defibrillator to defibrillate Mike multiple times, inadvertently killing him. When the gas begins to leak, Jason connects himself to the EKG and the gas drops his heart rate to below 50 BPM. The passage to the next room opens up. Jason and Ben escape, but Zoe refuses to follow and collapses and dies after breaking the last camera. Jason and Ben enter the 5th room. Ben is angry at Jason for killing Mike in cold blood, and he feels that Jason is not the only survivor. Jason admits that he deliberately killed his roommate at sea so that he could use the red pike coat to survive. Upon opening the hatch to the next room, Jason and Ben contract a hallucinogenic drug. Jason breaks Ben's leg, but when Ben kicks him into the corner of a table, he dies from the impact. Ben escapes into the last room. The last room is the opening scene of the movie. The scene returns to Zoe, who survives death by using the oxygen mask on the hospital bed when 2 cleaners enter the secret room 4 to eliminate evidence. She knocked out the 2 cleaners and escaped. Finally, Ben hid in the fireplace to avoid being crushed to death. He appeared in the last space and met the Game Master. Ben hopes he can now win and leave, but the Game Master tries to kill Ben to stop the secret of the game from being revealed. Zoe saves Ben, and they kill the Game Master and escape the minus. Ben and Zoe are treated for their injuries, and by the time Zoe arrives with investigators, all evidence from the escape room facility has been erased. 6 months later, after Zoe determines their geographic coordinates from their sign, she convinces Ben to fly with her to the Minus escape room headquarters in New York. What they don't know is that the game's designers have plans to turn Zoe and Ben's flight into a simulated escape, trapping them in another game. That's all for today. Hope you like it. See you next time.